Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. I'm Manny Garavito, and in this episode, let's talk about what we love about toxic Latinas. Now, I know this isn't about Latinas or this isn't about the ladies, it's just the toxic behavior. But let's face it, here in Miami, we love toxic Latinas a lot. We double down on relationships with them, and there's so many factors involved, and let's get to it in this video. So toxic Latinas, they keep you on your toes. They make sure you're always on your best behavior, and they actually make you think twice before doing something. When you go out with them, they always got to know that you're looking out for them, that you're making sure they're good, that you're paying attention. All the little details count, not only in the things you say, but in the things you do. Are you putting your arm around her? Are you talking to her enough in that social get-together? Are you making sure that she's well-fed or that she's got a new drink in her hand? All these factors come into play to make sure that you don't get the evil side of that toxic Latina-ness. But if she did come around and show that side to you, it wouldn't be so bad, because when it comes to toxic Latina love, if they argue with you in public, you kind of get to show off that you're loved. This is her way of showing it. It's kind of a flex to have a haughty Latina arguing and yelling at you in public, because that's how you're able to show everybody this is how you're getting that love. How else would you know it's real if there wasn't a lot of emotion involved, even when it's a hateful emotion? That comes from somewhere very deep, and you decided to change her. And you sticking around, even through that abusiveness, goes to show how much you love her in return. So being toxic and receiving toxicity is just a sign that you're being loved in your own strange, deranged way. That goes to the second reason why we love toxic Latinas, because you never know what to expect. You got to be good at improvising when you're in love with a toxic Latina. You don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. There might be a moment where she's being nice, cuddly, wants to go out and do something romantic, and you know right around the corner there's going to be a sucker punch coming or a slap in the face, and it's kind of going to turn you on, because you know after that happens, the sex is going to be amazing. But the thing is, you got to make sure that you're expecting the worst while enjoying the best. You know, one day she's nice, one day she's not, one day she's screaming at you, one day she's making love to you, one day she's on vacation with you, the next day she's not answering your texts. It's a back and forth thing, and you got to be flexible enough. Like Bruce Lee say, you got to be like water. Water can flow or it can crash, but you make sure you let her do all the crashing while you're flowing. You know what I mean? You got to keep the balance in the relationship. And you know, when you say you want to fix them, we see it as a challenge, especially when they're fine, because fixing somebody takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of dedication, and it's a good way to show somebody that you're in it for the long haul, that you're really taking it as a challenge accepted. And you got to put on your therapist hat in order for this to happen. You got to really listen and let her get all that frustration out. And sometimes listening to her vent and rant about everything in life, or maybe even about you, can help you understand life a little bit better. Not only just through her life, but just human experience in general. She can allow you to understand life in a philosophical way. She can help you understand how emotions work. You might even pick up a hobby trying to understand unconscious things like Jungian psychology, or maybe pick up a Sigmund Freud book or something like that. She can get you more emotionally intelligent just by having her around. Imagine the possibilities of being able to be a better person just by taking in someone's toxicity. Oh, and by the way, if you ever want to take a toxic Latina girl out and have her have fun, maybe even distracted, come out to a Miami comedy show. We do a show just about every night of the week in all the cool bars, whether it's in Brickell, Wynwood, Miami Beach, Doral, you name it. Just visit MiamiComedy.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the membership so you can really double down on drink perks as well as seating reservations. I'll see you at a show. And if you want to be toxic, make sure you're attractive, because how are you going to be unattractive and toxic at the same time? You're in no position to bring negativity into someone's life if you're not that good looking. And this goes for men and women. Make sure you're at your highest self when it comes to looks, because that's the only way anyone will ever want to tolerate your toxicity. So if you're unattractive, make sure you go to therapy, make sure you get healed, make sure you figure yourself out, figure out the past traumas that happened in your life and get that understood and bring it out into the light, inner shadow work, all that stuff. Get on a healthy diet. Make sure that you're your best self on the inside if you don't want to look good on the outside. Because believe me when I tell you, if you're toxic and unattractive, it's going to be very difficult for you to be in a relationship in the first place. You know what? Also, I got to admit, most of the toxic Latinas that I've ever met or dated, they're really good at cooking food, man. Maybe that's a way that they channel all that misery all that frustration, all that anger, they put it into that food, man. It's just some of the most delicious food you've ever tasted. I mean, they just start sprinkling all kinds of seasoning into that. To kind of, maybe it's because they're trying to cover up something in their life, and they do it the same way when it comes to seasoning their food. They just add layers and layers of flavor. You can't really pinpoint exactly what flavor you're tasting, but you know it tastes delicious. It's the same way with their toxicity. You don't know what's really wrong with them, but once you get to that good side of them, you're just like, it was worth the struggle. It was worth the fight. So one thing I got to give credit to the Toxic Latinas as to why we stick around is because what you do in the kitchen, apart from the bedroom, what you do in the kitchen is absolutely delicious. You're compensating, and you're doing a fantastic job at it. Let's get down to the root of it. The reason we like Toxic Latinas is not only is it because you look good, it's because we're also miserable in our own way too. Living in this city is rough, and sometimes taking out your frustrations with someone you love is the best way to get it off your chest. Because here's the thing that I've learned about toxic people. They're not really that happy, and they never will be, and they're totally fine with that, and that's okay. The thing is, if you're miserable and they're miserable and you both look good while you're miserable, that's actually enough, because miserable people don't really work that hard on their looks if you think about it, but a toxic person does. It's almost like they trap you into the misery. They say to themselves, man, I'm really not satisfied with life, but I got to bring in somebody in on this. So I got to look good, go out there, start a relationship, and make sure to make it as lustful as possible so they stick around to really go deep with me in this misery. So Toxic Latinas, you're doing us a favor by allowing us to get in a relationship with you in this city. It's hard out there, but with you around, it's a little bit better. Not really, but it's still a little bit better because at least you look good. And we're having fun in the process. And we're learning about ourselves and about you. So for all the Latinos out there that love their Toxic Latinas, I dedicate this episode to you. You know the reason why you're there. All I did was verbalize it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Why is it that we love the Toxic Latinas so much here in the Magic City? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.